Okay, the first thing that you need to do to make your Buckeye hat is to cast on, which is the technique you use to get the stitches onto your needle. So you need to make a loop, cross it across the working yarn, put your needle in the middle and pull it. So don't pull it so tight that you're never going to get your needle back into the loop. This is one thing that new beginners tend to do, is you do it too tight, like you're afraid they're going to run away. You wrap it around your thumb, loop it through, and pull it. We're going to do this about 16 times. And your tendency will be to jerk this yarn. Don't do that. You need to relax. 14, 15, and then we're going to do one last loop it around, up your thumb, and we have our first row. Your working yarn is always to the right, so we're going to turn our needle around, working needle to the right, and we're going to start knitting. So here we go, working needle to the right. I'm going to put my needle into the loop underneath. There's a little circle there. Put the thread between the needles and pull it through. Now we have to slip it off. Okay, we're going to put it through the loop, run it through the needles, and pull it off. So the nice thing about knitting is that once you get a rhythm in, it can be very calming, relaxing. And done with your first row. Look at that. Now, what are we going to do? We're going to turn the needle so the working yarn is on the right. After you get past the first row, it's usually the knitting becomes easier. So turn it around, pull it through the loop, turn it around, pull it through, loop, through, out, pull it off. Here we go, at the end of the row, we have, and then we turn it, ta-da, to the right. That's going to be so pretty against the gray. In the pattern, you're going to be knitting 3 inches of garter stitch in the red, and we're going to add in gray, or scarlet and gray. So take a piece of yarn. I usually leave 6 or 7 inches there. We're going to put our needle in underneath, and instead of the red, we're going to wrap the gray around and pull it through. And we're just going to leave it dangling here for just a few minutes. So underneath, round, knit. And so we're going to do a row. And the first thing you're going to notice when you turn around is that there's a strand here. Now this is the back of the yarn, back of the hat, the inside. Now some people like to use it they like that and use it as a decorative row. They think it looks pretty. So don't worry about the bumps. Okay, so we're back to where the loose threads are. So we're going to just knit in that big loop, pull it through, and then we're going to take 2 pieces of the 2 ends that we have, and we're going to go down to where they are loose. This is the working strand. These are the 2 that we just joined, and I am going to tie them. I'm going to cut this red one shorter to get it out of the way. There it goes. It's out of the way now. And then we're going to just keep knitting for, in the hat, you're going to knit for another 6 or 7 inches or so. So when you get to the length that you want, the depth that you want, you need to make your hat round to match the top of your head. So in order to do that, you're going to do what's called decreasing, which means that you're going to reduce the number of stitches that you're knitting. Knit 3, 2, 3, and then we're going to take the next 2 stitches and knit them together. So you got to stick your needle in there, and sometimes it's a little crowded in that loop, so be patient. Pull it through carefully and pull it off just like you did in your regular knitting. And then I'm going to put a marker there, this little loop, and you can use extra pieces of yarn. For instance, this is one that you might use. Or if you don't have these little loops, you could use a safety pin, whatever you have on hand. So here we're going to knit 3, 1, 2, 3, and then we're going to squish these 2 together, slip the needle through, loop it around, and pull it through. There we go. And you'll notice a little space here. Don't worry about it. It'll adjust on your next row. So here we go. Knit, oops, 3. Now we'll just knit 2 this time. And do your decrease. Knit the 2 together. Every other row you're going to do decreases. So you're knitting along and you can't remember what row you're on. So what you can do is put an indicator on the row, the end of the row. So say you put a safety pin here. So you know that when that safety pin gets over here, you're going to decrease. So let's do that. So here we go. We're just going to do straight knitting. And these, don't knit the markers, just slip them off onto the other needle. And here we go. Okay, so here's our safety pin. And that's going to tell you that this is a row where you're going to do decreases again. And as you can see, I've created a curve that fits on the top of your head. So that's the decrease. Okay, we've got all our decreases done. And we've curved the top of the hat, ready to get on our heads. So here are the bumps that we talked about earlier. And when we sew, these will be on the inside. We have to take the needle out. And in order to do that, we need to have our yarn to the working side. And we have a needle with a large eye hole up here. Fold it up and pinch it tight. This. And then work it through, pull it. We're going to go across to that side going to pull the yarn through. So it's like going through a tunnel. So as you can see, we've gotten to the end, and we're going to pull. This is the one time in knitting where you want to pull tightly so that you pull your hat together. There we are. And now we're going to sew. So pull it tight. Okay, and we have our yarn and our needle. Okay, pinch it together and do a stitch. Change to red here. Okay, line up the bottom. It through a couple times, and then you turn it inside out. Turn up the brim, and we'll fix those strains in just a minute. Turn up the brim, and you have your Buckeye hat. Weaving in the ends. So, but we got to do it. So what we do is we go the wrong side. We're going to take the yarn and we're going to find a loop. You don't need to cut it off close, you can just leave a little tag there for you to worry about making mistakes. Everybody makes mistakes, but I wanted to show you that I made a mistake and skipped a stitch. I know that nobody's going to see it except me and now you, so sometimes a little mistake is nothing to worry about.